Second down and 16. Stafford. Deflected and intercepted. A one-arm pick by Isaiah Oliver.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
The Rams are such a mystery. That was off the hands of Kyron Williams, right?
Yeah. Both hands. All 10 fingers, in fact.
By the way, I'm having a hard time with the name Kyron because it's just like it's too close to Kylo Ren. Also,
Kylan Mills, I believe, former Cron 4 anchor.
Yes.
Wife to Chuck, who used to work here.
Okay. That was intricate.
Well, there's the Kylan and the Kyren, so I'm with you.
Kylo Ren.
Kyrie, Kyren.
So my mind,
say you, say me.
There you go. Say it together. But yeah. Naturally, thank you. Naturally, Nick Bosa did things that we didn't see yesterday. You ready for this? Because we'd love to talk about the defense and what happened yesterday. The play that you just heard on Fox may have turned the tides of this game, and it was no doing of the 49er defense. Like, good job, Isaiah Oliver, Johnny on the spot for, catching the ball. That's good. But it was not a great defensive play. It was a ball that deflected off the hands of a receiver. You caught a break. You turned it into a victory. I'm not saying it would have gone the other way. But if we're going to spend as much time as we did talking about this 49er defense and how it's one of the best in the NFL, I don't think yesterday was a perfect day. So let's nitpick a little bit. 888-957-9570. What wasn't good enough? Okay? What has to improve? Now, before you answer, Dibs, let me throw this at you.
Okay.
Might surprise you.
Throw it.
For the second consecutive week, the 49ers' highest graded defender,
according to
PFF,
Pro Football Focus.
I know that you like to use the letters to maybe say something else, but yes, that's what it stands for.
I'm just curious where we're sourcing this material.
Well, they're the only ones who actually do the individual grades across the board.
Right.
So
this is human beings judging other human beings.
Right, but but it's human beings who have gone over this in a much finer form than we have.
Of course.
Is that fair?
Yes, yeah. But is it also fair to say that there is a high degree of subjectivity when you're dealing with human beings looking at other human beings?
Yes. I don't know about high degree. There's a degree. But it's not like they're looking at this and saying, well, Nick did this, but I'm not going to give him credit for it. Or I am going to give him credit for something he didn't do because his name's Nick and he makes a lot of money.
Go ahead.
What do you think?
I think that when we talk about the stat such as pressures, there is a degree of subjectivity when it comes to what constitutes a pressure.
I'll buy that.
Like when we talk about different metrics that involve, like in baseball, for example, a base hit or an error, there is subjectivity based on the official score and their determination therein.
No doubt. It's an aspect. I don't know if it's like overtaking the game.
Agreed.
Right? So anyway, to whatever degree you want to buy it, PFF says that Nick Bosa was the 49ers' highest graded defender of the day with a superb score of 93.
That's good.
That's high.
Really
That's very
good.
high. Okay? And now you may look at this and go, no, well, how? I didn't see him getting tackles. I didn't see him getting sacks. He didn't do this, that, the other. What PFF, and this is where I will give them credit, what they're going to take into account and see on the film that we are not as fans is a way that an offense is going to attack a defender and the way that an offense is going to attack an entire defense, which is to run everything away from your best players. So the Rams ran everything away from Nick Bosa. The Rams dedicated extra offensive linemen to Nick Bosa, and that is all taken into account by PFF. So we're looking at Nick Bosa going, well, that's 2 games. You get 0 sacks. And he's at the post-game presser being like, yeah, and, I'm just... I'm getting back into the flow. Okay, fine. But the stats aren't there, and we want them. It doesn't mean he's not playing good football. It doesn't mean that. So when you start with, if we're going to answer that question, what needs to be better? I don't think Nick Bosa is a bad answer to that question. but know that information before you throw that out there is all I'm saying.
Yes, and information is a term used loosely, in my opinion, when it comes to Pro Football Focus, and it's humans judging other humans on things that are not concrete, such as sacks is a much more concrete stat than pressures.
Right, but wouldn't you agree that even information isn't necessarily telling an entire story?
It's a piece of the story.
Yeah, like a sack is a stat. It doesn't mean if you get one that you had the most amazing pass rush of all time.
Correct.
Quarterback could turn the wrong way and run right into you.
And a lot of times, if you are a guy who gets a lot of sacks, it's because of a Nick Bosa type who's taking on a double team, and you're able to beat your man one-on-one and get a sack.
Drake Jackson, 3 sacks.
I look at a defense yesterday that had a grand total of 1 sack.
1.
And Nick did not register it, and nobody in the front 4 registered that sack. It took a blitz in the second half, a great Fred Warner move, and a great defensive play call. He came in untouched, and he actually said in the postgame he was a little bit surprised to get that clean of a shot, and coaches told him not to jump, and so he tried not to jump, and he kind of did a half jump.
Well,
you can see him you can see him kind of like he wanted to jump,
right?
And he kind of went up and he didn't, and he got down and he got the sack, and that's my point though is Nick gets a 93, yet nobody else on the defensive line was able to generate any sack. So where does the 93 come from?
Well, because of the most consistent pressure.
Right.
Kind of the highest batting average, I guess, if you will, in terms of...
For a team that didn't score, they scored 1 run.
Well, I mean, if you're pushing your offensive lineman into the quarterback's space and making that quarterback move his feet and throw the ball a touch early, that's a big deal. And you don't really, you watch on TV, it's just like, whatever. Matt threw the ball. But that's a big deal. That changes the entire play, changes the calculus of everything. So that's all I'm saying is little things like that are there, and they matter, and they statistically do not show up at all. I know you understand that. I totally get what you're saying. I just don't think that there's any metric at all that removes either human opinion or quirks. Matt Stafford threw a pick on a play where he hit his receiver right between the numbers.
Right, and that was not a byproduct of Nick Bosa's pressure.
No.
I'm just watching the highlight again for the 11th time, and he had time to throw, and the receiver was open by 5 yards, and the ball was delivered on time, on target, and the guy just straight up gacked it.
Just dropped it.
Jock Peterson tracking a fly ball in left field.
I'd rather not talk about the Giants today.
I'm sorry. I thought I'd take a cheap shot. I had an opportunity, and I took it.
Jock would like you to know that it's not about his weight. Did you see that story over the weekend?
No, but we don't even need to go to it. All I know is when he was wide receiver 1 at Palo Alto High, he was much more svelte.
Okay.
I do know that.
It's body shaming, and it's offensive, and he would like everybody to stop.
And I like that because I'm sitting here on the fat camera on YouTube, even though I shaved today, and I am absolutely fresh and clean.
Get to YouTube.
I'm a fat red pumpkin. Shut up, Grandy.
No.
I complimented you earlier.
No, he's a medium-sized red pumpkin. It does...
medium.
Well, you took you took the Johnny Graybeard away.
Totally.
So you do look a little bit. This is all I'm going to say because you look great.
Keep it real, Mark.
You look a little bit more like a Niner fan today than you did Friday because you look like one of those seats at SoFi Stadium. You look a little red. Yeah, you're a little
red and gold.
Well, you took the hair off.
Yeah.
Because the hair wasn't red.
No.
It used to be the stuff that was on top of your head. I remember that.
Do I look younger, older, or the same?
Versus Friday?
Yes.
Or versus 20 years ago?
Well, I mean, come on now, kid. I'm not trying to go back.
Versus the young people.
Randy.
Do you look younger, old? You definitely don't look older.
Okay, good.
So let's remove that one.
Then let's just call it.
I'd like to phone a friend for the next one. Do you look younger or the same? I think a little bit younger.
Okay.
But only by like a year and a half.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to beg for compliments.
No. I noticed right away. You saw.
did.
I walked in. I'm like, whoa, your face.
2 of the 3 members of our show noticed right away.
Yeah.
The other member was too focused on his own little post-game thing on Sunday.
Wow.
For which I complimented him because the guy's good.
He is good.
Mark Grandy's good. I'm hearing footsteps good.
No. Can I?
But good.
He's good, and he deserves that compliment, and then he deserves another compliment. You want to know what Grandy did? He remembered a request that I gave him 48 hours earlier. I said, when you're done with your post game, hit me with a text and let me know when our national show takes over on 95.7 The Game, and I'll try to slant things into a Niners conversation for our local audience, even though I'm talking to Kyle Rudolph, who's at a hotel in Minnesota, and I looked down, and I got that text. He said, Mark, you are now on 95.7 The Game. And a little flutter went through my heart.
Nice.
I was like, wow.
Good dude.
I'm on 95.7 The Game right now. That's crazy.
I'm never on 95.7 The Game.
That never happens.
It's big for you. Big if true.
Except for 20 hours a week. But anyway, go ahead.
Nick Bosa.
Yes.
You had 3 QB hits, and your D-line had 1 sack. And let me check that. Your D-line had no sacks. And Matthew Stafford was 34 for 55. He got sacked 1 time. He threw 1 pick that was his fault. The second pick was not his fault. The first pick was not his fault. The second one was his fault. So to give a D lineman a 93, and I saw the comment. You don't have to laugh at the YouTube audience.
I'm sorry, it caught my eye.
They're not that
funny. It is. It's not fair and it's not right, but it's still funny. You have to, come on, man. You're good at laughing at yourself.
Which one, Mark? There's a couple shots that were taken. The one about Mini-Me.
Dibs looks like if Mini-Me ate a Mario Brothers mushroom and grew.
That hurts a little bit, I'll be honest. Never go full Jeff.
Come on, I needed to get that out. Okay.
Oh, you get to 4?
Now I can listen. Now I can listen again.
I'm done. I'm done.
No. I like what's your breakdown of the defensive line?
You're giving Nick Bosa a pass, and all the sycophants
Wait a minute. A pass?
Are you going to let me finish?
Well, yes.
Because you said you're done laughing at me and you were going to listen.
Yeah, no, now I'm not laughing. Now
put on your listening cap over there.
That's a follow-up question. I'm not going to apologize for that.
You're giving him a pass. You're standing behind Pro Football Focus, giving him a 93. Nick Bosa was a non-factor in that game.
Oh, wow, I don't agree with that at all.
Matthew Stafford was unhurried. He was unfettered. He was unrushed for the majority of that game. He had his way, and the Niners let him dink and dunk. And he did.
What is a defensive lineman supposed to do to prevent dink and dunk?
Wreck the game or knock a ball down.
3-step drop, gone. How are you getting to the quarterback that fast? Hike, put 2 deep, gone.
Good old-fashioned determination.
Well, no. You know what I mean? I put it this way. Split the difference. He didn't register any sacks. To say he was a non-factor in the game, if Nick Bosa and the D-line was a non-factor in the game, they'd have carved him up and scored 38 or 41.
They carved him up and scored 17 in the first half.
Okay.
And then they were on the move in the second half, and Sean McVay went Yertle the Turtle and punted the football, and then they got the ball back, and the running back dropped the ball when they were driving again.
Hold on.
I think that you need to look at the game not from the lens of the scoreboard, but in terms of what was actually going on.
Well, so which stat are you going to choose to pay attention to then? Because if you're going to ignore the sack issue or not ignore it, if you're going to make an issue out of the sack thing, then I don't think you get to ignore the scoreboard. They gave up 6 points in the second half, and 3 of them were cockamamie. That's good defense.
It was fine defense. They got a gift from Kylo Ren.
No doubt.
The fact that he cannot catch a football thrown right to him.
You're right. It was not a banner day for the defense.
The Rams were on the move at that point,
but it was not an awful day. I'm going to reject something my nephew, because you know the Niners and Rams thing in our family.
Oh, sure, that's right.
The nephew was ticked. He was very mad, and his contention after the game was that if Kylo Ren doesn't drop that ball, the Rams win. And I gave him one of those, when you hold the text down. Can you do this on an Android? Do you hold it down and all the options come up? Thumbs up, love, like, laugh at?
No.
You can't do any of that?
No, in the Android world, we actually prefer words to childish emojis.
No, it's not an emoji. It's just a reaction.
Right. React with actual words and thought and insight.
That takes too much time.
Yeah, it actually doesn't take much time at all to formulate a thought and actually relay it from a human being to another human being.
I'm a broadcaster. I know this. I can formulate a thought and share it, but
few things more infuriating than liked or emphasized or you thumbs up to me.
Emphasized is kind of funny. No, but how would you end a text conversation without the thumbs up? I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thumbs up. As if I saw it. I got you. I don't need to sit there with my thumb.
You can't hit an O and a K?
Yeah, you can do that, but see, okay's there's a connotation to it.
There's actually no connotation to it.
Absolutely. Hey, how you doing today? Okay.
Fine.
Are we good? I'll be there in 5 minutes. Okay.
Perf.
Don't ever text me. Perf. Don't say perf. Do not do that. I like the thumbs up. Anyway, I gave my nephew a ha-ha, but I didn't type it out. I just laughed at him.
Right.
I laughed at him. He's 17 years old, and I laughed at him because I wanted to let him know the Niners are winning that game either way, if Kylo Ren drops that ball or not.
Yeah, Kyren Williams, for those of you not in on the bit.
It helped. Obviously, it changed the tone of the football game. I'm not saying it was a wonderful defensive effort. I do think, though, for me, this falls into the bucket of we've got to remember when the 49ers play football this year that the opponent also plays NFL football.
Are you getting this, Grandy?
Okay.
Are you going to cut this?
The Rams have highly paid coaches. Matt Stafford is making a truck full of money. They, too, practiced all week long.
You getting this, Lucas, for an infographic?
They looked at video. They prepared. They are professionals.
Are they paid to play football, too?
They are talented. And so, therefore, when they get to the game and they do a couple things right, we cannot look at the Niners every week and go, you are screwing up because the other team completed a pass. 3-step drop, pow, gone. How are you supposed to sack the quarterback? Matt never went back there and started looking around. If he did, they'd have gotten him. And when he did in the second half...
They didn't get him. They got him once.
No, they picked him.
And it took a blitz.
And they picked him.
They picked him once.
And they pressured him 27 times in the game.
From...
PFF.
Okay, so on his 55 dropbacks...
Yes.
27 of those were...
half of them.
Quote-unquote pressures.
Yes.
He completed 34 of 55.
It's a good player.
So, and I wonder about your... pressure stat. What is what it determines a pressure?
It's not my pressure.
No, you're
stat.
the one who brought it to the show.
I'm telling you.
You don't see me PFF and you, do you?
Oh, that got weird real fast.
So it's your stat.
It's not my stat.
You're the one who brought it to the table.
I am bringing things to the table to think about.
Right, and I'm here to say that I summarily reject that stat until I get an idea what constitutes a pressure. Does Matthew Stafford have to actually feel like, you know what, Pro Football Focus? Yeah, this is Matt. I actually felt some pressure on that drop back.
That'd be awesome if that's the way it worked. That'd be amazing. I was feeling anxiety on this play.
Totally.
Right? Like
they check his heart rate, and if it goes above 128.
It could be like when Geno Smith goes, oh, my God, when Aaron Donald is about to run and says, that's two pressures. Because not only are you feeling the pressure, you had audible pressure.
Right.
Right? It could be like a psychiatrist put him on the couch. All right, this play right here, Matt, tell me about your feelings on this play. How are you feeling?
Oh.
Look, this was not a banner day for the defense. I'm certainly not trying to make this point. I thought that last week was. I thought they were dominant against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were not against the Rams. I think the Rams are a better team than the Steelers, it appears, this year. I definitely think they've got a better quarterback, and I think they had a better game plan. And you've got to give room for that. The Rams did some good things. The 49ers have got drawing board material after this game, no doubt. No doubt. But I don't know. Give the Rams a little something. Good game plan, good execution. It didn't work. I wouldn't really freak out about it unless it had worked. It didn't work. 49ers won. Not their best day. For me, mark of a great team when you win on not your best day.
It had worked for almost 3 full quarters until Kyren Williams coughed it up. And I'm looking at ESPN and their win probability that they do, based on who should win the game at any given moment.
Yeah.
And when the Rams have it first and 20 on that very drive, they had a 54% 4% chance of winning that football game.
Interesting.
So to your cousin or your nephew, rather, to his point about, we would have won that game if it wasn't for that, ... After the pick, then the Niners get to 57% chance to win immediately.
Yep.
So that play was a 10% swing from Rams, and it was a coin flip, but the Rams were slightly more likely to win on the move in Niner territory.
Yeah, it's late third quarter, sure.
Right, four and change left to go.
They probably would have taken the lead. I'll give you that.
Right. So, I mean, to your nephew's point, I don't think that they would have still won the game, but if the Rams use another 2.5, 3 minutes of clock and get a field goal, clock, and so now they're up 2017, really late third, it becomes a game where maybe they get 3 possessions and the Niners only get 2 more, and they have a better chance to win.
Let's go to Jamie in San Pablo. 888-957-957. We'll take your calls on this. So, Jaime in San Pablo with Willard and Dibs. What's up, Jaime?
Hey, guys. So, just give me a chance here. If we're going to nitpick, right? Give me a chance, okay?
Sure.
So, yeah, the Mr. Relevant from, the last pick in the draft who just, had an elbow surgery. Gosh, he missed those 3, deep throws, Jesus, man. It's like, come on, guy. The defensive player of the year last season, Jesus, come on, get a sack, man. Can't you beat that double team or that triple team sometimes? Come on, man. Let's get it done. Come on, defense. Like all the time, right? You have to be on top. This is ridiculous. We won the game. Purdy didn't do nothing to hurt us. If anything, he made some good throws. Yes, he missed the deep throws, but he's going to get better. That's going to come with a touch. He said it himself. I mean, this is guys, this is ridiculous. We're doing good. We started off good. We could be possibly 3-0, and then go to the Cowboy game 4-0. I mean, this is ridiculous. To me, Purdy is fine. The team is fine. The D-line will do their job. I'm happy. Let's just keep it going.
Hey, Jaime, when you say this is ridiculous, who are you talking to? Who's saying that everything's bad?
A lot of fans, like you said, like the person that tweeted to you, right? The person that tweeted. A lot of other people. I hear a lot of other people talking about it, and it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I got it now. Yeah, thanks, Jaime. I appreciate it. Look, it's football. I think there's two kinds of fans when you get done with games like this, and you focus on whatever you want to focus on. And if you want to focus on that was not as pretty, it was not as purdy, and it was not as dominant, great. You can focus on that. I mean, the Niners are a Super Bowl contender. It's going to have to not just be good. It's going to have to be really good.
Right. You're going to have to win games where you get. And I get that. I don't want to say that they got lucky, but there were things that happened in the game that were fortunate that they happened the way they did. George Kittle butt passing it to McCaffrey on a weird snap. Brock Purdy fumbling a snap. Tip balls going to Isaiah Oliver, who made a nice play.
Sure.
Things go your way when you're a good team. The Niners weren't lucky, but they benefited from some things that may not always go their way.